Welcome everyone to NoDQ.com's live predictions video for AEW All Out 2025 in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. It will be going up almost head-to-head, possibly head-to-head if they run long, with WWE WrestlePalooza. It will be a very busy day for wrestling fans. We're here to do our predictions. We have 10 matches to discuss. We're going to try to get through these as quickly as possible and not ramble too long since there are so many matches. Let's go ahead and get everyone's overall excitement levels for All Out. Should be a great crowd in Toronto. Looks like they're close to a sellout for this one. Matthew, I'm going to start with you because I know you have quite a few things to say about AEW at this point. How hyped are you for this event?
Well, I mean, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to have some spicy comments tonight, and I'd say I'm about a 6 out of 10. For me, this is a one-match pay-per-view, and that match is, of course, Copeland Christian versus FTR, which apparently, if the rumors we've heard, it's going to open the show. So that, I think, hurts the pay-per-view a lot. There's a few matches I'm kind of interested in, but a lot of them I feel like they're not. There's some really odd booking choices involved, but I kind of will explain my thoughts on those as we go. But yeah, I'd say about a 6 out of 10.
Well, be careful because if you criticize the card, Tony Schiavone will tell you to go on his show and book a card and then go F yourself. So there you go. All right, Dwayne, we'll go over to you next. How are you feeling about All Out? This is one of AEW's bigger shows of the year. What are your thoughts on this one?
Like always, regardless of the show, what matches they have, it's going to deliver one way or another. I haven't really kept up with AEW as much as I used to, but the major storylines and all I have been keeping up through, NoDQ, through YouTube clips and all this and that. So I'm kind of pretty much caught up with what's going on. But other than that, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be probably, I'll go a little bit more, say 7 for me.
I'm leaning towards a 7 just because of the quality of the pay-per-views. I know the track record. But if I'm talking about just the lineup on paper, it's closer to a 6 to me. Moderate excitement for the card itself. But I do know that they deliver, and it should be an awesome show. Oofman, who has been to AEW pay-per-views, welcome. What are your thoughts on this show as somebody who's a bit more of a diehard AEW fan?
Well, I'm excited for the show, definitely. I'm at probably an 8 especially for the women's match. I can't wait to talk about it with you guys. And I actually am a little shocked that Cope and Christian are going to start the match, but I guess Tony wants to start the pay-per-view on a hot note. But yeah, excited to talk about it with you gentlemen. So let's get this thing going.
All right. Yes. Like I said, we got 10 matches. So we'll try to blow through these as quickly as we can and not ramble on for too long. Since it is the opening match, apparently, I guess we have to talk about it first. Now, if it was me, I'd be putting this match in the main event spot above the world title match. I know Tony Khan likes to put the world title on, and really they have to because it wasn't the main event last pay-per-view, so I get it. But to me, as Matthew said, this is the match that I'm most looking forward to. This is All Out as far as I'm concerned. Cope and Christian back together. They did reunite at the last show, and they will be facing FTR. There's a lot of history between Cope and FTR. I think this should have been for the tag team titles. I think FTR should have won the belts at Forbidden Door and not taken an L at that show. I think they should have been champions. AEW should have made this as big of a match as possible. Instead, it's the opener. I'm sure it'll be awesome. It'll be fun. I'm glad it's on first. Start off the show strong, but I think they missed the ball here a little bit by not having the tag team titles on the line and then maybe perhaps considering putting this match on at the end. Matthew, I'll go over to you. If they had decided, we don't know what they're going to do. We don't know if they're going to have this show go over 4 hours. It starts at 3 Eastern on on Max, and you can get it on Max and the other outlets. But if you get it on Max and you're a Max subscriber, it's $10 off. Starts at 3. If they were going to go past 7 Eastern, they put Cope and Christian on. It would be really tough for me to follow the WWE show because I would want to see Cope and Christian in Canada. What are your thoughts on this match?
I mean, you pretty much nailed it. This is the match that sold all the tickets. This was the first match announced. This is what got them to, what are they up to? Almost 11,000 people?
Yeah.
Close to 12,000. This is what sold 11,000 people. This should be, if not the main event, this should be the co-main event. This should be headlining the pay-per-view, not opening. And I wonder, and I mentioned it to you earlier, if Toni got word of what's opening WrestlePalooza and didn't want to compete, which I think is stupid because this would have made people choose. Do you finish watching All Out or do you watch WrestlePalooza? Because it's 2 of the best tag teams of all time, past and present, or Brock and Cena. That's a hard choice. But, apparently this is going to open, and I do wonder how it's overall going to affect the overall crowd and feel of the pay-per-view. But you got to give it to the hometown boys, and I agree it should have been for the tag titles. But, this is going to be Cope and Christian's big moment. They're going to put on a hell of a match because all 4 guys will deliver. But yeah, this should, like you said, this should be either the main event or at least the second to last match on the show.
And you're going with Cope and Christian to win?
Yep. The hometown. Yeah, you'd be crazy to not have the hometown boys win. There might be riots in the streets in the first match.
I would be shocked if they lose this one. I think it's a pretty easy prediction. Cope and Christian win. Oof, we'll go over to you next. What are your thoughts? Or maybe not. All right, let's throw it over to Dwayne. Hopefully we get Oof back. Go ahead, Dwayne.
I agree wholeheartedly with both of you guys, but what makes me wonder is if Tony Khan really is trying to compete with Triple H and putting this match on first is probably going to wind up hurting him the most because people may wind up tuning out after. He used to say most of the crowd would get up and take bathroom breaks for the rest of the show for this one, So, I mean, I don't get it, but, you want to start off with a hot match, but, they've got other matches on the card, I think, that could deliver for an opening match as well to get the crowd going. But, I don't know what his plans are. I don't know what's the story after this with them and whether they're going to continue to have another match as well. So we shall see. Let's just wait and go. But, yeah, Edge and Christian, man.
Cope and Christian. Or actually,
it's going to be Edge and Christian to me. I don't care.
Actually, it's Christian and Cope. There you go. All right, Oof. One more time. Your thoughts on this
Sorry
match?
about that. Saying what everyone's saying. Really shocked that the titles are not on the line. So, I mean, the attraction is Cope and Christian, or Christian and Cope, how you put it, but still going to be a killer of a match. This match might go a good half hour with the entrances. Of course, Toronto is going to sing Copeland to the ring. They're probably going to go crazy for Christian as well. And so just with the entrances alone, that's going to be 10 minutes right there. Then I'm going to say about a good 30-minute match. And the hometown boys got to take it, even though it was an interesting segment with them on Dynamite last night. But Cope and Christian all the way. And then maybe for Full Gear is where we get the tag titles in November, where Cope and Christian, I can be there live to witness Cope and Christian gain the AEW tag titles. But for now, for All Out, the Canadian boys of Cope and Christian will take it. And spoiler, I don't know, extra point, it would be cool. Stokely is going to be with FTR. How cool would it be if Cope and Christian come out, you're standing there, and then they go, hey, whoa, we have backup too. And then Bret Hart? I'm just being the Bret Hart mark. So, but it would be cool. But I'm just saying.
I think it would be Gangrel over Bret Hart, which would be even greater.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Because I think FTR is a Bret Hart guy as well. So
that's what I'm thinking. FTR are Bret Hart guys, and their idol is on the other side. But yeah, I think Gangrel would be awesome as well. Gangrel or Bret.
He's made an appearance with him before, so
Yeah, that's a nice idea to potentially have Gangrel come out there to counteract Stokely Hathaway. Tony Khan, if you're watching this by any chance, or if anybody who knows Tony Khan is watching this, get the word and book it. Let's get Gangrel on the show as a little fun Brood reunion. Why not? And, I do think we'll see them go for the tag titles at Full Gear, and maybe that will play into our predictions for that match, which we'll get to very shortly. You know what? Let's just get to it right now since we're on the topic of the tag team. So we got the AEW tag team titles up for grabs. We got the Brodito tag team, Bandito and Brody King, defending against the Young Bucks, Matthew's favorite team, Rod and Todd, Jet Speed, which is Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight, don't call him LA Knight, and then Team Don Callis, Josh Alexander, don't call him a jobber, and then you got Hechicero. So yeah, it's a ladder match. It should be a hell of a spectacle. These ladder matches are always fun. And with these guys, they're going to go all out, pun intended. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a car crash, but it's one of those that you can't just look away from. All right. So, Oof, I'm going to throw it over right back to you. Hopefully your internet's good and not like Big G's. Go ahead with your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, this is going to be the flippity-doo. Jim Cornette has an aneurysm match. But I'm gonna give it to Rod and Todd. Give them they're paying their way to go back to with their entrances, which is a bummer. I was loving these guys again, or hey, the whole mocking of the entrances and the videos and the songs. But give it to the Young Bucks, and then again, let them defend it in whatever October's pay-per-view is. And then I'm being selfish. I just want to see Copeland and Christian win the tag titles at Full Gear here in Jersey. And I think the place will explode if they take it from the Young Bucks. But the Young Bucks win this one. It's going to be a hell of a match. Hechicero is going to do the crazy flips. And I'm sure the Young Bucks are going to do their crazy stuff again. So going to be a hell of a match, but Rod and Todd take it.
Now, see, I'm a little torn about this one just because of the fact that Brodito just won the titles. Are they really going to lose it this quickly? But if we're thinking ahead to the future, if Cope and Christian are going for the tag titles, and one would think they will at some point. Like, you got to tell that story, right? They go for one more tag team title run. They've never been AEW tag team champions. I feel like they got to go against a heel team, right? And the Young Bucks would be the team. I know, Matthew, I know you're not the biggest fan of the Bucks, but I mean, I would say that is a dream match. Edge and Christian, or Cope and Christian versus the Young Bucks, as a match that people would want to see as a dream match. So I'm going to say the Young Bucks win it. I know people aren't going to be happy about that. Maybe they don't win this and then they win the titles like in a month. We do have Wrestle Dream, so that's a possibility as well where they could win it. But I'm going to go on a limb and say the Bucks win this one. We'll go over to Dwayne with your thoughts on this one.
Let Matthew go, you mind?
Okay, Matthew, you go then. He's still thinking. He's thinking.
I want to throw up in my mouth, but yeah, the Bucks are going to win. The way that they've been doing the whole, now they got clowned on for a bit. They got tall jobbers. They weren't catering, but now they're winning. Yeah, they're going to do the whole, we may not be EVPs anymore, but now we're going to have all the power back. Yeah, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So yeah, it's weird that Brodito won in the first place because it was so left field. It still raises questions. Was there the problem between the Hurt Syndicate dropping and this was the only way it could happen? But yeah, I think, plus the fact that they made the mention the other day that the Bucks are going to become the first 4-time champions, which I think they're the first 3-time champions. So now they're going to be the first 4-time champions. But yeah, I see them winning, and I hate to admit it, but yeah, but you also made a good point. Edge and Christian versus the Bucks. Doesn't really matter the age because we know age can just be a number if the wrestler is willing to put the work in. That is a dream match. That is That is up there with probably that would be up there with the Legion of Doom and the Dudley Boys if we ever could have had that match to happen. So, I think that's where they're going to go. They're going to go with it. The Bucks winning, and hopefully Uthman's right, and Edge and Christian take the belts off the Bucks in a few months.
Ah, there you go. You get a big pop for that one. All right, Dwayne, it's your turn now. We all spoke. You have to make a commitment. Go.
Yeah, I want to thank this comment right here because I was leaning towards this myself. I was waiting to see if anybody else was going to possibly bring it up. Nobody thought about possibly Jack Perry showing up and costing the Bucks. And I think there's a possibility of anything can happen with an all-in or all-out pay-per-view because they want to bring in as much shock value as they can to it. So just to be the odd man out on this one, I'm going to put that the champs retain. I'm not ruling out that the Bucks won't win the titles before the next pay-per-view, but, right now I agree that they've just got the titles. I think it's too early to take them off of them as well. They're a great tag team. They've got great chemistry together as well. So now I'll kind of enjoy seeing them as champions. So I'm going with the champs to retain.
All right, there. I'm torn. If they retain, I won't be shocked. I mean, they could always have the Bucks win at Wrestle Dream or something like that. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, the Young Bucks, kind of like Roman Reigns or John Cena. It's hard to bet against those guys. But let's move on to our next match. We got Mercedes Moné defending against Riho. I'm going to be quick on this one. I really don't have any interest in this match. Now, Riho was the first AEW Women's Champion. Or was she second?
First.
She was the first. So, yeah, she has the history, but she's been gone for such a long time. I feel like she really has no momentum at this point. It really does feel to me like a filler match for Mercedes. I would be shocked if Riho won this one. So gonna say Mercedes retains. Should be a good match. Dwayne, I'll go ahead over to you.
I ain't got much to add to it as well. Not only was she the first, I want to say she's probably the shortest reigning one because I don't think she had her first title run for very long before Nia Jax beat her for it. I'd say maybe like a month and a half in, but either way, I'm not impressed with Riho as well. So champ retains.
All right, we'll go over to you next.
Yeah, Mercedes is less than a month away from breaking Jade Cargill's CBS record. So Riho, unfortunately, is just a body being fed to Mercedes for this. Still should be one hell of a match. I mean, Riho is just adorable. You want to dunk her in her coffee. She's so cute. But Mercedes wins, and then hopefully Wrestle Dream, Mercedes retains. I'm just being selfish. I just want to see title changes at Full Gear because I might be there. But Mercedes clearly will retain here.
I like Ian's idea. We should do 30-second shot clocks on some of these predictions, especially these matches where there's really not much to say. It'll be a good match, but nobody cares all that much. Matthew, go ahead and regurgitate what I just said. You got 30 seconds. Go.
I mean, yeah. Now, if this was Sheeta versus Mercedes, I'd be more interested, but Sheeta apparently is lost in the win. But yeah, apparently Mercedes is winning, even though she stood on top against Riho last night. Law Mercedes wins.
Yeah, look at Big G throwing some shade at us. I'll tell you what, Big G, if Britt Baker was on this show going for the women's title and Jeff Jarrett was going for the men's title, you'd be on this panel right now. You would be the first one to volunteer. Boom. All right, let's move on. Yes. Next match, we got a 6-man trios match, whatever you want to call it. We got the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and MVP versus Ricochet and the GOA, Gates of Agony. I love the Hurt Syndicate. They're awesome. The crowd's going to be fully behind them. Ricochet, to me, he's kind of cooled off a little bit. I felt like when he turned heel last year, he started to build up some momentum, but now I feel like GOA is bringing him down. And as much of an entertaining match as this will be, I just don't see Hurt Syndicate losing after dropping the titles at the last show, I should say. I'm going to say Hurt Syndicate picks up not the easiest victory because it's a pay-per-view and every match has to be a 15 to 20 minute banger. So it'll be a hard-fought win, but the Hurt Syndicate will pick up the victory. Dwayne, I'll go back to you on this one. Go ahead.
I disagree with this one. I think the reason that MVP is putting this one is to take the pin for the Hurt Syndicate as well. But, they're trying to raise the younger guys up. And that's what they need to do. Ricochet, I think, is pretty much already established, but the Gates of Agony, or whatever their names are called, they need a little bit of that boost to the next level as well. They got Ricochet and they got the Hurt Syndicate to help them do that. So I'm going to say the heels win this one.
Wow. I'm a little shocked by that one. All right. Well, Oof, you seem like you might agree with Dwayne. Go ahead.
I 100% agree with Dwayne. I think this is a 6-man match because I think MVP is going to take the fall on this one. It'll probably be Ricochet pinning him. So yeah, GOA and Ricochet get the W, and then maybe as the weeks go on, we'll see single matches between the two groups. But yeah, this one, Ricochet, GOA with the dub.
Is it bad that I think MVP could beat up all three guys by himself? I mean,
no, he probably could.
I don't know. I can't buy into GOA at all. Like, I still don't even know which guy is which. Like, if you show me a picture of GOA, I don't know which one is Toa, Liona, and Bishop Kaun. Is that their names?
I don't even know what their names are.
They don't stand out to me at all. They're just two generic, good wrestlers, but they don't stand out to me at all.
I think Bishop Kaun's the tallest one.
Oh, okay. They need more. They need more to stand out. Matthew, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm going with you, Aaron. Especially the reactions last night. The Hurt Syndicate are still one of the most over things in AEW. You would be insane to have them lose to Ricochet and AOP 2.0. And Toni seems to love Ricochet, but to me, he's a clown. He's shown his ceiling already. Getting chanted bald is his ceiling. That is what Ricochet will be forever known for in wrestling. And, you look at the Hurt Syndicate and you see a group of monsters, even with the fact that they are combined age like 150, they are one of the most, they should be continuously being the most dominant team in AEW. And I think it would hurt them a lot if they lost to Ricochet and AOP 2.0. So yeah, I'm going with the Hurt. We hurt people. We hurt people.
They're arguably the most overact in this company next to maybe Adam Page at this point. Like, the crowds just love the Hurt Syndicate. And I think they got to be I want to see them in the mix with the top guys, like the Young Bucks and Page and so forth. Like, Lashley should be challenging for the world title at this point. Like, what are we doing here? Like, Page can beat him. Like, I think they should do Bobby Lashley versus Hangman Page for the title and let Page beat him and beat the veteran and get a big win over Bobby Lashley. But Lashley should be going for the world title and not being stuck in trios matches. Just my take on it. Like, he doesn't need to be winning against the world champion, but at least put him in the main event and let him be a threat to the championship. All right, we're going to move on here to the next match. It is the return of Eddie Kingston. He's been out of action for about a year and a half, maybe a little bit more than that. He's been out since early 2024. His big comeback match against Big Bill, I mean, it's his return match. So I'd say it's highly unlikely in all likelihood that Big Bill wins this one. He's being fed to Eddie Kingston, and it'll be cool to see Eddie back. It's a spectacle to see him return. It's a nice feel-good moment, but yeah, Eddie's going to win, and should be, they really should let this be like 5 minutes tops. It doesn't need to be all that long. Eddie Kingston wins. I mean, to me, this is like the most obvious pick of anything on this show. Matthew, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm going to get spicy, but I've never gotten the appeal of Eddie Kingston. I think, yes, he can talk, but I think he's a bum. He looks like a bum. His wrestling is some of the worst I've ever seen, even worse than Moxley, especially those chops. And I actually feel bad for Big Bill. Big Bill had a chance to do something with him after Jericho disappeared. And I think this is the first time we've even seen Big Bill on TV the last couple weeks. You know, this could have been a chance for Toni to have actually brought Enzo back and put those two together or something. And this is a waste of Big Bill. And I don't get the appeal of the Burger King, and I never will. But Burger King is going to walk down Whopper Road and beat Big Bill. But I think it's a waste of a match.
Wow, that was quite the burial of poor Eddie Kingston. Oof. What are your thoughts on Eddie Kingston?
Well, I agree with Matthew on the whole Enzo thing. They were on the Jericho cruise, Big Bill and Enzo, and apparently the crowd did the whole old Enzo and Big Bill intro when he got there. I saw a video on someone uploaded it to social media. So yeah, I'm a little shocked Enzo hasn't come in. Reasons, whatever. Yeah, probably of all the matches, one of the easiest to predict besides probably the Mercedes match. Eddie Kingston will get a great return. The crowd's going to be hot for it. Matt, like you said, so the match should not go more than 5 minutes. If it does, then don't let it go past 10. And let Eddie Kingston get his win back. And it's good to see him again. I think it's been 18 months that he's been gone, something like that. So Eddie Kingston with the W. And then maybe down the road, Enzo joins Big Bill, and then they can be added to the tag team scene in AEW.
All right. Dwayne, what are your thoughts on this one?
I got nothing else to add, man. Eddie Kingston, next match.
All right, there you go. Short and to the point. All right, we're going to move on. Next match, we got a four-way for the Women's Championship. Timeless. Toni Storm, the tramp that's currently the champ, going up against Jamie Hayter and Kris Statlander and Thekla. Look, I'm enjoying Toni Storm's reign as champion, but to me, this is another one of those four-way matches where I think it's designed for the champion to overcome the odds. I just don't see Toni's title reign ending in a four-way. The only time you do a four-way and there's a title change is when you want to get the title off the champion without them taking a fall, like do a three-way or a four-way. But in this case, I just think it's trying to get some women on the pay-per-view and make it look like more of a threat to Toni Storm than it actually is. Match should be pretty entertaining, I think, with the four of them. But yeah, Toni Storm retains this one. Dwayne, I'll go to you. What are your thoughts?
Other than this match, how many title matches are left?
I'm not even sure.
I know you got the world title match, but that's it. So,
we got two left.
Okay. Oh, the Continental
Unified title and then the world title.
All right. I'm going to, I agree with you so much. I love Toni Storm. She's one of the reasons I'm fixing to go to my first AEW show. Praying to God she's there. She's one that it's hard to bet against, but, I'm trying to look at the booking situation here as, a big pay-per-view like this, there's going to be at least one shocking title change somewhere. And I feel like this might be it because she's held that title now for, 4 or 5 months? It's probably going to be time to take it off of her and put it on somebody else for right now. You know what? I'm going to go with the shocking pick on this one. If she's losing, I kind of feel like it's Statlander's turn to hold the title.
Well, so here's a thought. On Dynamite, they were teasing that the Death Riders are trying to recruit Kris Statlander to the group. So what if somehow Wheeler Yuta gets involved and helps her win the title?
Or Marina Shafir possibly as well. So, yeah, I'm going to go with that pick as well and say Statlander finally wants the title.
Now, another thing, though, to consider, well, I mean, this could play into Mercedes' storyline also. We got Dynamite coming up in Pittsburgh, and, that could be the return of a certain doctor. And if that happens, maybe she takes the title from Mercedes or even takes the title from Toni Storm. I mean, that's a possibility. Oof, I'll go over to you next. What are your thoughts?
If anybody follows me on social media, you must know I love me some Toni Storm. When I hugged her, it felt like it was hugging heaven, and I've loved her since day one. But again, I agree with Dwayne. As much as I love me some Toni Storm, they're doing the typical, the face is the champion and they're not sure if they're going to win on Sunday or Saturday in this case, and there's doubt. But I think this is where actually I'm going to take your theory, Aaron, and turn it around, where in the Fatal 4-Way they do it so the champion doesn't get pinned or made to submit. So I agree with Dwayne. I'm going to go with the new Women's World Champion, Kris Statlander, not pinning or making submit Toni Storm. She either pins Jamie or Thekla. I'm going to go with she pins Jamie in the ring, and we get a new champion. As far as Britt Baker, no, I mean, yeah,
she's done. She's
yeah.
done.
Well, I don't know if she's done or not, but I don't think she'll interfere here. I don't think she'll get a title match in Pittsburgh whenever that Dynamite is. But I don't think she'll affect anything here. But again, as much as I love Toni Storm, not that it's time for her to drop it, but like I think now they're going to put. They were, like you said, Aaron. They were pushing the Death Rider thing. I think what's her face is going to come down. Not Yuta. He's not going to come down. Marina's going to come down and help Kris without Kris wanting it or needing the help. She's going to be all confused and stuff seeing her at ringside. But new Women's World Champion on Saturday, Kris Statlander.
All right, Matthew, I'll throw it over to you now. They made some compelling points. What do you think?
Well, I think this should be a singles match. This should either be Statlander versus Toni Storm, or Hayter versus Toni Storm, but they haven't built either one of them up to be credible. Thekla, I don't even know why she's in the match. She kind of was feuding with Hayter because she took Hayter out, but then she's been fighting Queen Amanada. So the whole thing's a bit of a mess. I think the only reason all three of them are in the match because Toni made the comment a few weeks ago that I've beaten everyone, so I'll take on all challengers, and that's what Toni's done. Now, I would love to see Hayter or Statlander win, but I'm gonna go with you, like you, Aaron. I just don't see it happening. I see this is just another 4-way to show how strong she is. Now, again, if I'm wrong and it is Hayter or Statlander, I would love that, but I just don't feel like they've been built up in any way.
Yeah.
And I've heard a rumor from, online from a character known as AEW Mole who claims that there is a dentist appointment scheduled for the Pittsburgh show. So now if that's true or not, I don't know, but apparently this Mole character has been pretty accurate on some of his cryptic messages. So if it is the return of Britt, who knows? But, there's a long overdue story of Britt and Hayter. Yeah. But also there is the thing, and it was mentioned, Tony's the one that put Hayter on the shelf originally. So I want to see that one-on-one match. I want to see Toni Storm lose to Jamie Hayter one-on-one clean. But I'm going to go with the champion retained, but maybe that will lead to Hayter versus Britt one-on-one at Wrestle Dream or whatever the next pay-per-view is.
All right. Actually, an interesting match because of the circumstances, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if we get some interference in this one and if a new champion will potentially be crowned. And I agree with Dave. It'll really be a test. If Britt's not back by Pittsburgh on Dynamite, then I don't think we're seeing her again. But if she does come back, I'd like to see her get one of the titles from either Mercedes or Toni Storm. This would be a great opportunity to push Britt and get her back in the main event picture. They need it. They need some star power in that division, and Britt will be that person. Yeah.
But if they give her the automatic championship match, are the haters going to be like, oh, she's cashing in her Baker in a bank match? Like, I don't want that to happen with Britt. I mean, she's okay, she's fine and all that, but I could just hear the detractors. Oh, see, she's Britt Hogan, and if that starts up, I'm going to lose my mind. So
yeah, well, wouldn't shock me, honestly. All right, guys, we got just a couple matches. We're moving along nicely. We got 4 left to discuss, so let's get to it. We're over halfway. We got a triple threat match for the Unified Championship. Okada defending against Konosuke Takeshita and Mascara Dorada. Now, we talked about multi-way matches, how sometimes they can be designed so the champion loses without taking the fall. Well, I think this match is designed for the third guy being in it as the one that takes the fall. I think Dorada is in this match to be the one who takes the pin and gets beat. Look, I think they should have done a one-on-one match, Okada versus Takeshita. That would have been a great match. And I'm sure this will too, but I think it would have been stronger as a one-on-one match. But perhaps Tony Khan doesn't want either guy losing at this point. They're teasing a face turn for Takeshita. I think this will still be an exceptional match. Dorada will do a lot of crazy things in it, but to me, it makes the match a little bit more predictable. Like, I think Okada retains and Dorada is the one that gets beat. And, they'll continue the tease with Takeshita's face turn. So, Oof, I'll go right back to you on this one. What do you think about this?
Yeah, this is one, like you guys were saying for the previous match, should have been 1-on-1 Takeshita Okada. Yeah, so Okada retains, and again, let me be selfish because the pay-per-view's in Jersey. If Takeshita and Okada go 1-on-1 at Full Gear, won't hear me complain. So the champ retains. Simple.
All right. Well, Spencer has an interesting theory. Don Callis costs Okada and Takeshita's the champion. That would be quite the swerve. Dwayne, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I was literally just sitting here thinking, ain't both Takeshita and Okada both in the same faction? So this is kind of a weird one for me. I don't know how this one turned about, but I agree with Oof. I just don't see Okada losing that title now as well. Not yet anyway. They just crowned him the new champion, or the
unified champion.
So it ain't time yet.
But the thing is, I saw on one of the shows, maybe it was Collision, but Okada's like patting the head of a young fan at ringside. Like, what if they did swerve everybody and it's Takeshita that stays heel and Okada goes face? Matthew, what do you think about that possibility?
I mean, I don't see it. I think Take is one of the futures of AEW. I mean, he's already beaten Will Ospreay. He's already beaten Omega. He would be better off as a babyface. Both him and Fletcher don't need Don Callis, and I think Don Callis really is hurting them more than helping them. But yeah, I mean, I'm in agreement. This should be one-on-one. It's the legendary King of New Japan versus the current King of New Japan. This should be a one-on-one match. This should be setting Takeshita up to, pretty much become the new Okada. But yeah, the Masquerada Dorada is in the match to eat the pin so that they can stretch this out for a little bit longer, maybe hopefully for that actual heel turn. But yeah, this is another match that, I feel is wasted by bad booking choices. But yeah, Okada will win. Dorada will take the pin, and we'll probably get the rematch at the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, I'm thinking we will get the one-on-one match at some point, and maybe it will be at Full Gear. Could be Wrestle Dream. Sorry, Oof, but we'll see what happens. We got 3 left, just 3 matches to go. We got the tables and tacks match, as they call it. So it's a thumbtacks and tables match. We got MJF one-on-one with Mark Briscoe. Now, these two have kind of been feuding a little bit on and off over the past several months, so I guess this is overdue for them to finally have a blow-off to their storyline and have this match at All Out. To me, this is a rebound match for MJF. He lost the world title match. He's still got that contract. He still can cash it in. He's got to do it 1 week in advance now. But to me, you want to keep MJF strong, and Briscoe, I mean, he is the choke artist, and maybe he does pull off the upset here. But at the end of the day, I think MJF's the one you got to have go over in this one. And the odds are kind of against MJF because it's like it's Mark Briscoe's specialty, and MJF doesn't want to do this type of violent match. So I feel like MJF's got to win this one. Matthew, I'll go right back to you. What do you think?
I love MJF. I love Mark Briscoe. But when is the last time Mark Briscoe won a pay-per-view match? He barely wins TV matches. And as much as I'd love to see Briscoe win, even though we've heard MJF is going off to film another movie, yeah, this needs to be MJF getting back into the title picture. So MJF wins. It's going to be a hellacious match. Hopefully this isn't booked anywhere near the main event or the Moxley match because, there's probably going to be a ton of blood in this match. And, we're going to have a ton of blood in the coffin match. So hopefully they at least space these out so there isn't blood everywhere.
Well said there, Matthew. Dwayne, do you think we're going to get some thumbtacks in the mouth, or do you think that Briscoe's going to shove some thumbtacks up to MJF's ass, like pull down his trunks and just shove them up his ass? Like, what do you think they're going to do to shock people in this one?
This is AEW, man. Nothing they do shocks me anymore. What shocked me the most about this match is I kind of anticipated it being a ladder match for that contract. I really thought when Briscoe said he's going to name the stipulation, I really kind of figured it was going to be leaning towards something like that. But then they announced the ladder match for the tag title, so I knew that was probably out the window as well. So either way, I don't really care. I agree with y'all, though. I ain't never going to – you can't bet against MJF most of the time anymore. So, and I sure as hell ain't going to bet for Mark Briscoe. But – so MJF wins. Screwy finish some sort, I'm sure of, though.
All right. Oof, we'll go over to you now. What can they do to top some of these other violent matches with thumbtacks, like other than shoving it up his ass? Or maybe, how they did the staplers in the Toni Storm match?
With Sky Blue, yeah.
Sky Blue was stapling the boobs and whatnot. What if Briscoe sticks the thumbtacks down his MJF's tights, in this crotch area, and then
neat elbows.
Yeah, that could be it. I agree with Matthew. Yeah, with a low blow. Yeah, I agree with Matthew. Hopefully the coffin match and this match get nice space between them because that ring is going to be just a new shade of red. We know Moxley's going to bleed because he sneezes and he bleeds. And now with this match, tables and tacks, it's like blood is going to be everywhere. So let it be a couple matches in between. Let the ring crew, hopefully they replace the apron because I know they put multiple aprons on the ring. So they take one out. You have a nice fresh canvas to see one bloody match and then I don't know, call it a regular match. Guys running around in the blood. It's like, we don't need to see that. But yeah, I don't know, Aaron, to answer your question, what can they do? I don't know. Darby Allin maybe does not Darby. I'm sorry. Briscoe goes on the top of the ladder to dive onto MJF with like a board of thumbtacks, but he lands on it. I don't know, but it's gonna get ugly. But MJF takes it. He somehow sneaks in a win, either with the AEW ring or just some bloody tactic, no pun intended, tactic. But yeah, MJF wins. It still should be. It's gonna be the car crash match besides the coffin match. So MJF takes it. Mark Briscoe, love him, but I think this feud needs to end. It had its run. Let's both men move on.
Well, apparently they did the crotch spot. I didn't even see that match with Dustin and Kyle Fletcher with the thumbtacks.
Well, they'll do it again. Who cares?
Well, I was just thinking, what can they do that hasn't been done, like that will gross people out? But speaking of grossing people out, get ready for the "You Sick F" chants and get ready for Darby to nearly die doing something crazy in this coffin match with Jon Moxley. Moxley bleeding, check. Darby Allin nearly killing himself, check. Crowd chanting "You Sick F," check. What else can they do in this coffin match that will gross people out? Jon Moxley scratching Darby's back, check. Darby with his skateboard with thumbtacks. Will they have fire? Will they have
the blowtorch?
Blowtorch, yes. Will somebody be set on fire? What's going to happen in this coffin match that we haven't seen already? How can they take it to the next level in this one? Dwayne, I'll go over to you. What do you think about this coffin match between the leader of the Death Riders, Jon Moxley, and Darby Allin?
It's going to be a bloodbath, I can tell you that. It's going to be a car wreck, I can tell you that. It's going to be a demolition derby. I can probably tell you that as well. I can't tell you nothing that hasn't been done yet. I'm just not as creative as some of these guys are, but again, nothing you see anymore surprises me. I really think pretty much everything's been outdone. I don't think too much more they can do except to jump from the ceiling. Should have said that. But this is a match I'm torn between because this is Darby Allin's match, but, it's kind of hard to bet against Jon Moxley as well. What is the record between Moxley and Darby? Is it 2-1, I think?
I do not know.
I'm going to go with some. You know what? I got to go with the obvious reason, man. I got to go with Darby to win this one. He just come back. I don't even think he's even had a match yet, has he? Since he's been back from Mount Everest, so this is his return match.
Well, he did the unsanctioned match. Yeah.
Okay. So, but his first one-on-one encounter, I guess. So let's just, and strike it while it can, until he loses a coffin match. You can't bet against Darby Allin as well. So
yeah,
Darby for the win.
And Darby said no Bryan Danielson no matter what. So Bryan has given his word to not interfere. Now, do you guys think that will play into how this match ends? That's something to consider. And then Bryan whispered something that he wants Darby to do. So we got to think about what that is as well. Oof, do you have any theories on how this match is going to end or what Bryan told Darby?
Yeah, this is going to be Jim Cornette aneurysm number 2 for the night. He's not going to like it at all. They're going to pull all the stops. But I'm going with Dwayne. This is Darby's match to win. Now, as far as Daniel Bryan, I think Darby is going to pull out a bag and choke Moxley with it.
Oh,
I think that's what Daniel Bryan said. How many times did he do it to Daniel Bryan? Countless. Yeah. So I think either the match ends with Darby putting the bag over his head, or he beats Moxley, then he puts the bag. The bag is going to come out no matter what. He's going to put it on Moxley's head, choke him out, revenge. I might even see if Daniel Bryan is on commentary, he'll probably get up and help Darby out of the ring and all that. But I agree. I believe Daniel Bryan will not interfere. He's going to keep his word, or take one up a notch. Again, Darby wins. He looks at Bryan. Bryan looks at him, and then Bryan pulls out the bag, just throws it in the ring. Darby catches it, and then he does it. So I think the bag is going to play into this match. Whether he chokes him out to win or he beats Moxley, then he uses the bag. No matter what, the bag is coming out.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. Dwayne, what do you want to add?
I got a quick question. Though. Ain't that how Hangman Page beat Jon Moxley? Was with the bag over his head?
No, he choked him out with the chain.
Oh, he choked him. Okay.
Yeah, the chain that swerved.
I like that with the bag then. Really do. Yeah. I'll agree with that one 100%.
Yeah, I think that's how.
Yeah, last night when he whispered something, I don't know why I went, oh, the bag. It just came to my head. Like, oh, he told them to use the bag. And again, it's either going to be Daniel Bryan gives him the bag or Darby pulls it out from somewhere, but the bag will make its grand return.
All right. Ian in the chat brought up, what about Blue Panther showing up? I mean, nothing was said about Blue Panther interfering. Matthew, what do you think?
Well, I think this match should have been the end of the Death Riders. We've been wanting to see Darby be the one to finally put an end to it, but the fact that Ratings Cancer Garcia is now part of the Death Riders, and there's the tease of Statlander, this isn't ending. But Darby needs to win. How are they going to top it? Darby's going to pull out a gun, shoot Moxley in the head, pile drive him. Moxley's going to kick out at 2. No, 1. Moxley will kick out at 1 for a gunshot to the head. But yeah, I think the bag's gonna come into play, and Moxley and Danielson probably also told him to kick his frickin' head in.
Well, that too.
But yeah,
bag over his head and kick his head in.
Yeah, but yeah, Darby needs to win this match. But if this isn't the end of the Death Rider story, which I don't think it is, I'm not sure what they do past this. Unless they're going to do blood and guts after they've already done an unsanctioned match.
Right.
Which would be overkill, but yeah, this should have been the end of the Death Rider storyline. But with Ospreay out, Omega out, Swerve out, I think this is going to keep going for who knows how long. But yeah, Darby needs this win.
All right. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. And now we got one match left on the card to talk about. We have our main event of the evening. We got Hangman Adam Page defending his championship against the TNT champion, Kyle Fletcher. Now, Kyle's title is not on the line, but if there's interference from the Don Callis family, then Kyle will be stripped of his TNT championship. He has to do this on his own. That's been the storyline. Obviously, Kyle Fletcher being groomed to be a top guy in AEW, but is it the right time? Is it too soon for Kyle Fletcher? Oof, I want to start with you on this one. What are your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, I agree with you there. Kyle's great. Again, rocking the pink. Shout out to the Hitman. Doing a great job doing that. And again, he goes home to Sky Blue every night. But not yet. We're gonna see his greatest hits. Hopefully he wears socks this time, but we'll see. It's going to be a great match. I think during the match, Paige is going to be talking to him, be like, "Come on, do better, or you can beat me." We're going to see Kyle get really angry, and it's going to be a good back and forth match. Unfortunately, the cashing in of the contract now has to be a weekend, so I don't see MJF teasing anything at all because of that stip. So yeah, hopefully it does stay one-on-one. Now, the whole rule is if somebody from the Don Callis family interferes, Kyle gets stripped of the TNT title. But I still don't see, I can't even name like what other rando person can come out to distract either the referee or Hangman to try to get Kyle to win. No matter what's going to happen, I still predict Hangman retaining.
Partner, perhaps.
There's that too, perhaps, yeah. So like I said, the list is very, very small on who can come out to try to help Kyle win. But still, Kyle's going to show us that he is the future of AEW. Maybe 3 years from now, he'll be AEW champion. But right now, the time belongs to the Hangman. Going to be still a good, entertaining match, but it's going to be cowboy shit getting the win this Saturday night because the champ will retain.
All right, there you have it from Oof. Matthew, I'll go over to you next.
I mean, I pretty much have to agree with Oofman. My big problem with this match is if the rumors are true, this was supposed to be Wardlow versus Hangman.
Apparently, Tony Khan on the media call said that was not true.
Okay, which was weird because would you really have Wardlow lose his first pay-per-view match back?
Right. Yeah.
Now, again, we don't know, Tony says this, but Tony says a lot of things. And a lot of it isn't true. He said he wasn't going to take it anymore and he keeps taking it. But that's here or there. But I don't think Kyle's ready yet. But like I said about Takeshita and Okada, both Kyle and Takeshita are the future of AEW. They are the Braun Breaker, the Obafemi, the Jacob Fatu of AEW. They are the ones that should be pushed. And now that you've got guys like Omega, Swerve, and Hangman out, they need to be pushed. Problem, though, is they're both heels right now. At least one of them has to go babyface. And soon, I think. Especially with, they need that big babyface. But yeah, who could return? Maybe this could be Hangman or Jack Perry. Maybe Perry becomes the next Don Callis guy. Or I'm sure internet would explode if it ended up being Karrion Kross. But I don't think that's ever going to happen, especially with the long rumored, if it's true or not, Scarlet Fever. So yeah, I'm not sure who else could show up that would interfere. But Hangman's going to retain because it's just not Kyle's time. And somebody else and Dave put a comment too, the go home show, the heel won and was holding the belts. What happens 99.9% of the time in wrestling when the heel gets the beat down before the pay-per-view and holds the title? They don't win. But yeah, I think this is going to be Hangman retains. And again, this shouldn't be the main event, even if it is the world title. This should be Christian and Copeland in this main event spot. But that's really all I have left to say.
Yeah, I think Page retains. Keep in mind, MJF still has his contract, so he's got to go after the face champion. You know, Fletcher's champion, MJF, unless MJF goes face, which I would not be opposed to, but I know some people think he's better as a heel. And also, I don't think I picked for the other match. I will say Darby wins the coffin match. They're going to do that bag spot. But yeah, Dwayne, we'll go ahead with you and we'll wrap this up. Go ahead, your final thoughts on this match and the closure of the show.
I believe pretty much everything has been said that hasn't been said already. You know, you're going to open the show with a banger, you're going to close them with a banger. This is going to be Kyle Fletcher's chance to prove everybody he can hang with the big boys. You know, he's grown, he can do it on his own. You know, if he can press the right people, you know, there might be more chances up the road for him to come. So that being said, you know, for what it's worth, Hangman ain't losing that title right now. I don't think he's going to lose it anytime soon. But what gets me is with MJF holding supposedly this 1 week notice of that, there's going to be some kind of screw in here somehow or another. So I don't know. We'll discuss that at another time. I don't think it's going to be a straight, hey, I'm challenging next week for the title. So, you know, it's going to be great either way. So champ retains. It's going to be a great match.
All right, there you have it. So on that note, we have gone through our predictions in just under an hour. How about that? Not too shabby. We'll go ahead and do our plugs here before we sign off. So Matthew, I know you really don't got much to plug, but we'll go ahead and, well, there you go, NoDQ.com. Any final thoughts? We can find you on the NoDQ comment section, right?
Yeah, yes, you can. I mean, that's I still laugh at that particular one, but yeah, find me on the NoDQ comment section. You can usually find me here on the predictions. Every once in a while on the reviews. You know, it's always great to be, you know, part of the group. You know I have some spicy takes on AEW, but it doesn't mean I want it to fail, and I'm not trying to be a hater. I want them to do better, especially with WWE and TKO not doing the best of things. This is AEW's chance to really get eyes on them, especially if the rumor is true that Tony says he is going to attempt to do something WrestleMania weekend. You know, put your money where your mouth is, and you have a lot of money. But, you know, I always appreciate, you know, being on here with Oofman, you know, Dwayne, everybody else, and I'm just grateful to be part of this group, and, you know, thank you always.
Absolutely. It's always an honor to have you on. Dwayne, I know you don't really have anything, so just any final thoughts?
Yeah, say yes this time.
All right.
But anyway, thanks for having me again. It's always a pleasure being here. I love wrestling.
Absolutely. Love it. And I like the Bucky shirt. Oof, so I'll give you a pass for no DQ shirt. Go ahead with your plug.
Again, thanks guys for having me on. Again, check out my channel, Oofman Entertainment, my series again with Oof. Thank you for all those that watched. I did 2 back-to-back Michael videos. One was based off his birthday, and then the following one, episode 10, was I was in Madison Square Garden on September 10th, 2001, celebrating my last day as a 19-year-old, watching Michael in a concert, and I have some thoughts about that show. But yeah, what Matthew said, unfortunately this weekend there's 2 shows, and hopefully for the next time TK literally puts his money where his mouth is, like Matthew said, and does now fire the first shot, or fires a shot to WWE. Shout out to Gino. He did a video on the competition. I too am going to address it eventually, where again Aaron said in the beginning, call me an AEW Mark, that's fine, been a fan since day one, but the pettiness of WWE, I think, is starting to get out of hand with Money in the Bank now next year going against All In, I believe it is. So I'll address it in my future videos. But as far as for now, thank you guys for having me. And again, just like the other guys, gentlemen, Matthew and Dwayne and Aaron, always an honor to be on the predictions, on the panel. Just awesome sharing the awesomeness that is wrestling with everybody.
All right. Thank you for that. Oof. Everybody have a great weekend. Enjoy the shows. I'll be covering both. I don't know how.
Pray for Aaron. Pray for Aaron, everybody. Pray for him.
Yes, we'll make it happen by hook or by crook, and just spread the word about NoDQ.com. Say yes to NoDQ, and we will see you all next time.
Good night.